Hi everyone and welcome. We quickly wanted to cover the basics of managing your WooCommerce products. We mainly want to focus on creating and editing products, but there's a few other small things that we want to show you as well. So the first thing we want to start off with is when you've opened up your WordPress admin back-end site, you will see a menu on the left-hand side, and this is where you will find everything you're looking for. So the first place we want to go to is products. So just under WooCommerce, which is the software that the online shop is based on, you have products. So if you hover over products, you will see there's options like all products, add a new product, brands, categories, etc. We are going to quickly look at all products. Now this is a staging site, so there are a few products in here. Now when you come into the all products page, you will see here all your products are listed for you, and here you'll see you have columns which shows you the images, the names of the product, SKU, stock, etc, etc. Now sometimes there are quite a lot of information and a lot of columns in here, maybe too much, and it might distort your screen. So if that's the case, or if you want to add or remove some of these columns real quick, you can go up to the top right hand corner, click on screen options, and here you can tick whichever ones you want or don't want. So you'll see if I tick on brands or tags, it comes and goes. So when you're finished, click on apply. So that will set the screen for you and show you the information that you need to see. Now these products have already been created. We'll come back shortly to show you how you can edit existing products, but it's basically the same as creating a new product. So what we'll do first is we'll go to categories before we create the products. I like to set the categories first, but you can set the categories while you are creating a product. We'll show you how that works as well. So real quickly, we're going to go to categories under the products, and then you'll see there's a list on the right hand side of all the existing categories. So there's a test category at the bottom. Let's say you want to delete that one, you simply click on delete. The pop-up comes up to ask if you're sure, and you delete it, and there you go. You can also edit these existing ones by hovering over the category, and you'll see a sub menu comes up that says edit, quick edit, etc. So you can click on edit, and here you can add or edit the name, the slug. You can edit the slug, but usually it creates that slug automatically. But if you do change the name, let's say you make that decoration, then I would copy that whole name and paste it in here. Now usually you have to put this separator in, but it does it automatically. And you can change other things like your parent category, so you can assign it to a parent category, you can add a description, and you can add an image as well, and then you can simply click on update. To create a new category, we're just going to go back to categories, and then on the left hand side we can simply say test category 1. Slug automatically gets created for you. Again, the same information, you can put it in if you do wish to, and you can just click on add new category. So now you have the new category there, and it's as simple as that to create a category. Now the next step would be to create a product. So there's two different products you can create in here that we're going to cover, and it's a simple product, which is just straightforward, one product, one size, one color, whatever. And then there's a variable product which has different options that the visitor can choose from. So for instance, we always use the t-shirt as an example. A t-shirt has a size or different sizes and different colors. Those are variables that the client can choose from. But let's start with going to add a new product, and I'll show you quickly how to create a simple product. Now once you click on add a new product, you have your title over here, so you can enter your title, and then that's the name and the title of the product, and then just below it you have a product description block. So that block, you can enter as much information as you like. The more the better, obviously to a limit, but you can describe your product in detail here. You can add media, you can add forms, you can edit or adjust your fonts and the alignment, and you can even insert a link. So if I, for instance, highlight or double click on a word, and then I click on that little chain icon, I can enter the email, the domain or the URL in here, and then click on that blue arrow. So that will make that word clickable with that link that you've set. Okay, so then you can describe your product over there. On the right hand side you have the publish option here. It's currently set to draft because it hasn't been saved yet, but if you click on that little edit button, it gives you an option. Usually it says publish, pending review or draft. So you can set it as draft and you can come back and finish it later. It won't publish to the website until you've actually published it. Okay, so there's a few other options here as well. You can publish it immediately, or you can publish it on a date that you set. And just below that are your product images and product gallery. So the product image is the main image that is shown on the front of the website, and when somebody opens the product or opens the product page, it shows you that main image as well as the product gallery. So to set the product image, I click on set product image, and this opens up the media folder. Now these photos you're seeing here, they are all loaded into the website already. So let's say for instance we already have loaded it, like here. We just click on that image and we can set product image. If I click on that, it'll show up. Now if I click on that image again, if I for instance added the wrong image, I can simply just go in and change it. But if you don't have the image here and you still need to upload it, you can go to the top left. You'll see there are 3 tabs here. You click on upload, you select your file, so that'll open up your computer's file storage, and you can upload the photo there. So if you've already uploaded the photo and it's here, like with this one, you can use this photo as many times and on different places on different products on the website. So you don't have to load the photo every time. So you just load it once and you can use it as many times as you want. And just a little side tip, you'll see on the right hand side here, you have information on that photo if you've clicked on it. And this one here is called alt text. Now Google reads this little block when it sends its code through the website, and it's quite useful for SEO. It does make a little bit of a difference, and it's quite important. And I would suggest that if you're using a photo, you describe the photo here as detailed as possible and use keywords. Now when we build a website for a client, we do this for the client, but obviously you can come in and you can change it as you want. So once you've done that, you click on the bottom button that says set product image. All right, and now that loads that image. If I scroll down to the product gallery and click on add product gallery images, I now have the opportunity to put as many products images in there as I want. So if I just click on the images, you'll see I can only select one. To change that, there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can hold in your shift button and click, and you'll see it adds or selects those photos as well. But if I skip a couple of photos and I go to this one for instance and I click on it, it now also selects all the images in between. Now if you don't want that, we can simply do the following. I've clicked one photo and then I hold in my control button CTRL, and then I can choose whichever photos I want and it won't select the photos in between. So there you go. So now you'll see this button at the top bottom right. It looks different now. It's a little gray and it doesn't give you any wording. It seems to be a little WordPress glitch, but you can just click on it and it'll add those photos. And now you can actually drag and rearrange those photos as you wish. Okay. And then down here is also your categories. So you can select into which category this product must stay, or go rather. You can add it to as many categories as you wish. Now again, if we've created categories here on the left hand side earlier, but you can also create it here by clicking on add new category, and then we can say test category 2 and just say or click on add new category, and there we go, it's added it up there for you, and it's also ticked it automatically. Okay, so that's how you assign the category. You can also create it from here. So there's 2 ways to create a category. And then down here you have product tags. It's usually if you have quite a large catalog, you can add tags to the product, you can add a branding, and the rest you don't have to worry about. And now just to go back up again, the important part is creating a simple product. Okay, so now just under your product description, you have this product data block and a drop down. Currently it says simple product. By default it's selected as on simple product, but you have group product, external or affiliate product, and variable. So we're just going to quickly cover the simple product. Now that's selected. This is not a virtual or a downloadable product. If it was, you can simply click that and you'll see some options opens up here for you. You can upload a PDF or a file that the client can download once they've purchased it. But for this argument, or for this exercise rather, we're going to stick with a normal physical simple product. So when you've selected that, you'll see there's a little tab or a couple of tabs here. The first one is general. That's where you set your price. So you can set your price there at 150, for example. If you have it on special, that's 120 Rand. You can even schedule that price at sale price. For instance, if you have a Black Friday special, you can select when it must start and when it must end, and the system will do that automatically for you. And the next one is the inventory. So here you can add your SKU, which is just a product identifier number. You don't have to, but it helps to identify your products if you have a lot of products. And then there are two ways you can manage your stock management. The first one is stock management. It's got a tick button that says track the stock quantity for this product. So if I tick that, I can actually add the amount or quantity of products that I have in stock. Maybe I have 10 of these. I can allow back orders or not, and then there's a low stock threshold. So I can set that to, for example, 2, which means if I've sold 8 products and the stock count is now down to 2, then I'll get an email to say that the product's threshold is at 2, and you can come in and you can update it. Okay. If you don't want to track stock, simply untick that stock management button and leave it as stock status in stock. Okay, so that means it's constantly in stock. It doesn't take into consideration how many sales have been made. It stays in stock until you take it out of stock. You can do that by clicking that button. And you can also take it out of stock and put it on back order. Okay, so as simple as that. You don't have to worry about the rest except for shipping. That's quite important if you are using a courier plugin that automatically calculates the shipping. So in here, in grams, you can set the weight. In dimensions in millimeter, you can set the length, the width, and the height. Don't worry about the shipping class unless there's some custom shipping class set up. But these 3 are the important ones. If you're not going to use a courier plugin, or you just have a flat shipping rate maybe, or you have free shipping only, you don't have to worry about the weight and the dimensions. These are predominantly used for courier plugins. Okay, quite important if you do that. Now, that's how you set up a simple product. And just one thing before we get to the variable product is your product short description. So that's just a little short description that's shown underneath the price when you're inside the product page. I'll show you shortly how that looks or what it looks like. But here you can just briefly discuss or describe the product. It usually grabs the attention of the visitor immediately because that's almost the first thing that they see. And then your full description that you have up here will be below the photo and the information. Okay, so let's quickly go to variable products. So if I go to the product data block, I click on that drop down, I select variable product. I immediately go to attributes. I don't worry about the inventory, shipping, link products. That's not necessary here. I go to attributes. Now the attributes, again, to use the t-shirt as an example, they have 2 attributes, the size and the color. So let's create the sizes. And here we are going to put in small, and then to differentiate between the different attributes and to tell the system these are different attributes, you have to use a separator, and that's this little upright column. You can find yours, or mine rather, is on my keyboard on the right hand side. Shift button, just above that shift button is a backslash button, and if I hold in shift and that backslash button, I get that little upright column. Not sure about the terminology for it, but it's necessary to differentiate between the attributes. So I've got small, I've got medium, that little column. And again, you have to put any spaces in it. It's not space sensitive. You don't have to. And then I have a large. Okay. If those are the only options I have, that's how I stop. I don't have to put a colon or an upright column or something just behind it. Make sure that these 2 tick boxes are ticked off or ticked on, visible on the product page, and used for variations. Okay, so I've set my sizes. Now I want to set the colors. But if this was all that you've had in terms of attributes, you can just click on Save Attributes. Okay, and then I'm going to quickly add just the colors. So I'm adding color, and let's make this black, the colon. I've got red, and I've got white. Okay, again, those 2 tick boxes are ticked as well. I'm going to Save Attributes. Now, I want to click on variations because those attributes that I've created, I need that to become physical product or products that the client can choose from. Okay, so now you'll see there's nothing here yet. It's got a little arrow that says generate variations. So that when I click that button, it's going to use those attributes that I've created and create the variations for me. So when I click that, I get a little pop-up. I say OK. And then give it a couple of seconds. Now, one product becomes 9 products. I've got 9 variations here. It takes the size, which in this case is small, and it creates a color for each one of them. So I've got a small red, small black, small white, same with medium, same with large. If I click next to this products drop down box, I can open up the product, and it's got its own settings just for this variation. You can upload its own individual photo, SKU, excuse me, regular price, sales price. You can set the stock here. You can actually manage the stock from here as well by ticking on this little box. You can put the weight and dimensions in and its own description. And when you're finished, you can close it. You can go to the next one. And so you can set each variable or variation that you want. But there's also something that you can use to save you a little bit of time. If, for instance, all of these items have the same selling price, you can set that in bulk instead of individually. And how you do that is you go to this bulk actions little button. If you click on it, it drops down. From here you have a lot of options. You can actually delete all the variations from here. You can set the status and you can set the pricing. So if I want to set the regular prices, for instance, on all these products to 150 Rand, I click on set regular prices. That pop-up comes up and I put in 150. I say okay, and it's going to ask me save the changes before changing the page. I say yes. And now it's put the price in for me on all the products, 150. Okay, so the bulk edit is as simple as that. It creates all that action for you in bulk. Okay, now once you've finished, this little save button, save changes button has already saved, so you can just click on that, and that's as easy as that to create variations. But now let's say, for instance, that you forgot to add a size. Maybe you have an extra large as well. So I go back to attributes, I click on size, and I put that little upright column in, and I say XL, and I say save attributes. I'll go back to variations. Now give it a second, it's going to update, but you'll see there's no XL here. It's still 9 variations. So how to fix that? You just click on that generate variations button again. The pop-up comes up again, say okay, and now it's going to create those 3 variations with the extra large: black, red, and white. But it's out of position. It's on the top. You want to change that. On the right hand side you have these little 3 lines. We call them a burger menu, so you can just hover over them and drag them down, holding your mouse button, and drag them down, and drag them down. And now you have small, medium, large, and extra large. Okay, and then you click on save changes, and once that's done, you can go up, and on the top right it's got a publish button. If you click on publish, it's going to create that product. It's going to create a product URL for you, or permalink, and it's right just beneath the title. You'll see there's a permalink. So if I hover over that, click on the right hand button of my mouse and say open in a new tab, and then it will show you the product, and that's the title, there's the price, and here we have the size option. So I can choose a size, I can choose the color, and then I can add it to the cart. So here's your main image, here are your product gallery images, and there's your description. If you put your weight and your size and your color and your measurements in here, it will show up under additional information. And that's what the product looks like when you create a variable. Just remember to update all of that information that you've entered. Okay, so now we've created a new product in both simple and variable options. Now let's go to all products. I'm going to quickly show you how you can edit an existing product. So you'll see the list again of all the existing products. This is the one that we've just created. We can choose any one, but if you hover over the product, you have an option for edit, quick edit, trash, view, or duplicate. I don't really use quick edit. If it's a variable product, definitely not. I'll just go into edit. So I'm going to click on edit, and the same screen is going to open up. I've got the title, the description, the photos, everything else is in there. Okay, and there are your variations. Just update it, and there we go. It's as simple as that. So now you've learned how to create a simple and a variable product, and you've also learned how to edit an existing product. The one last thing I wanted to show you is how do you create a coupon, a discount coupon. So if you hover on the left hand side over your marketing icon or menu, you'll see there are two options, overview and coupons. If I click on coupon, you'll see there aren't any coupons yet, so I'll create my first coupon, and this is very straightforward. It's very easy to do. So you can either enter your own little coupon code, or you can ask the system to generate one for you. Right, and then you can obviously use that to send to the client. You can add a description there. Now there's a coupon data block here. On the general tab, you can select how you want to present that discount, as a percentage or a fixed card discount or a fixed product discount. And then the amount, maybe it's a 50 Rand discount. You can allow free shipping by ticking that. You can have an expiry date on the product, on the coupon as well. And then if you go to the usage restriction, here you can set how the coupon can be used. So maybe they need to spend a minimum of 1,000 Rand to use that coupon. Individual use only excludes sale items, so they can't use that on sale items if you tick this little block. You can select this to be valid on a specific product or a specific category. Which means they can only use a coupon when they've selected either that specific product or category. And then you can set an allowed emails here. So what that means is you can assign this coupon to a specific email address. So whoever uses this coupon must check out with that email address that you've assigned here. Otherwise, if you leave it blank, there's no restrictions. You can even set the brands including or excluded for this coupon. Then if I go to usage limits, I can set the usage limit per coupon. So I can set this coupon to be used unlimited times until I've cancelled it, or I can say this coupon can only be used once, and it can only be used on X items once. And the usage limit per user, maybe you can set that once as well. And then you can click on publish, and it'll publish that coupon for you. Remember to use that coupon name as the discount code. So that's how you create coupons, as easy as that. Thanks for watching. As you can see, it's quite easy and simple and straightforward to edit and manage your products within WooCommerce. Should you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to drop those in the comment section, and if possible, we'll answer them for you. See you in the next one.